Many founders don't realize how much insecurity shapes their scaling decisions. And let me give you a real example of how self worth hides inside business. When your self worth isn't stable, you don't experience it as insecurity, you experience it as ambition. You call it discipline, you call it standards, you call it being demanding. But what you're actually doing is regulating your identity through performance. And that's where it becomes invisible because performance looks productive. You take everything on yourself, you don't delegate, and not because others are incompetent, but because control feels safer than exposure. You don't scale, you tighten. And tightening feels responsible until something small goes wrong. A missed deadline, a lost deal, a team mistake, and suddenly it's not anymore operational. It is personal. Neurologically, your brain doesn't distinguish between a business threat and an identity threat. So, a small external event activates internal survival. That's why your reaction is disproportionate. A missed deadline becomes maybe I'm not good enough. A lost deal becomes I'm slipping. Now you're not leading strategically anymore. You're defending your self concept. And when identity is under threat, the prefrontal cortex, the strategic part of your brain, loses influence. That's when founders start making expensive decisions. Overhiring to feel expansion, overcorrecting to feel control, overworking to feel worth, or secretly wishing something collapses just so the pressure of maintaining the image stops. And I know this pattern because I built from it. I built businesses from pressure, from proving, from trying to outrun something internal. And it works until it becomes unsustainable. And therapy helped me to understand the roots. But in business, when you're about to make a bad decision because your ego is bleeding, you don't need a childhood analysis. You need precision. What we actually do in that moment is separate three things most leaders confuse: strategy versus emotional compensation, ambition versus identity repair, growth versus proving. And we work directly on decision architecture because once your identity is stable, your nervous system is regulated and your self worth isn't dependent on outcomes. And you don't push harder, you build from clarity. You delegate with precision, you decide without noise, you scale without chaos. So here is the real question: are you scaling a company or protecting your identity?